What is up, YouTube? The Zealous is back at you for a brand new video, and this is my magnum opus, I think. In terms of deck building and branded that isn't standard, this will be the best one I've ever come up with. As you will see by title, it's the alternative to the puppet lock, in my opinion. If you don't want a puppet lock, this is the next best thing, and it's cooler, in my opinion, and it's more fun, and I think more resistant. It is. I can just find it. Where did I put him? Right here. Thunder Dragon Colossus. So I've called it Thunder Dragon branded. There's like 3 Thunder Dragon cards, but I'll go through this and my general reasoning behind it. For the main extra side. I will include Cycle, I'll explain that one a bit for the format for those of you that want to play branded. And yeah. And this is my end thing video for the. I chose to do Yu-Gi-Oh! Here simply just because, I like this deck. And I am actually getting Sanctifier at some point, and Puppet. So I'm actually Puppet locking after this, which is sad for those of you that dislike Puppet. But for regionals and OTSs since they're coming back, I want to actually win stuff. So here we go. Starting off with the list. Main deck. In terms of the branded stuff, we have the standards. It's 3 Albaz still. It's 3 Aluba. 2 Cartesia. 1 Quem. 1 Kit. As the main playmakers. What I will note, 2 Quem is probably better. I only have the 1 because it's currently an expensive card. But also, there are like 3 spots you would change in this deck between this and standard branded. Talk about them when they come up. And one of them is designated for Puppet. The other 2 are the Thunder Dragon stuff. So there isn't a lot of room in this to keep this at 50 cards. Unless you want to cut down on the non-engine, which I don't think you should. So for that reason, I'm sticking to the 1 Quem. And I wouldn't cut anything else out the engine side of it. Kit's very nice for the high spirit signs and recurring from banish, because you can then banish your retribution, you can then add it back and set it for further use, or discard it and add back again. It gives you such a good grind game. In terms of the other engine, we've got 3 Shrouded, 2 Mercuria. Oh, that's a glare. That's a bit of a glare. Should move Mercurius to there. 1 Tragedy and 1 Ad Lib. There we go. Ad Lib is one of those cards that I would swap for Puppet. Is the card I'd swap for Puppet. You play Ad Lib or you play Puppet. In this sort of build, we play Ad Lib because we're not Puppet locking. So we put, and we have 2 Bestials in 1 Nubellion, 1 Saronir. You can actually play more Saronir this format, more Bestials this format, because they are quite good into Fiendsmith. Again, then you play into Talons, which is an issue in itself. I'm sticking to just the 1 for now. But I could definitely see myself playing maybe a Saronir and a Magma, or 2 Saronirs and a Magma. And in terms of Thunder Dragons, we literally play 1 Dark, 1 Hawk. Because the main purpose of it is you banish Dark at some point via Goldstark, Allure, Albion. I'll show off the 1 card Brand Fusion combo at the end, with and without through Shifter or not. You banish this, you add this, discard this, summon this, tribute this. That's Colossus. I'll explain why I opted for Colossus when we get to him, but that's why we play those to summon him. That's how we summon him. And that is the proper way, and people get confused by this all the time. That is a legitimate. If you summon Colossus Fire that way, that's called summon. It is summoning it properly, which a lot of people didn't know, and I mentioned it. In terms of the engine spells, again, we're doing engine first, then we're doing non-engine. 3 Brand Fusion, 3 opening, 3 deployment. Again, standard. 1 lost, and 1 in red. That's standard. Okay. You have to play this alongside 1 Retribution. That's standard. We're playing 2 additional ones. High Spirit at 1. In some lists, most lists you play at 2 and 50. I have a lower dragon count than most decks. And in general, I don't like this too much right now, currently. But I'm definitely going to change this up for 2, maybe even 3, depending on how many cards to build. I do have the Keeper of Dragon Magic list in mind. That is very nice, and that's 60 cards. So if I can build that, I will. And 1 in white. I love brown and white. This is the best card, hands down, for Extension. As a top deck, it's your best one, because you can just Miracle Fusion Mirror Jade. Or Miracle Fusion whatever. It is great to play through Ash, because you have, say, Cartesia, Brand Fusion, and then a way to get Almas to the grave, say Shrouded, say if you say the Bestialibur Saronir, or something like that, you go Cartesia, you have Cartesia on board, and you go Brand Infusion, Ash, Cartesia, get someone Grand Mykonol, send Albaz to grave, Grand Mykonol, send whatever, probably Titaniclad, you know, Brandon and White, banish send Grand Mykonol to grave, summon Mirror Jade. And you get a decent board that way. And it comes up with the Thunder Dragons. You can then discard Dark to summon out your so you discard Dark of this, summons Quem sent Albaz, Brandon and White, banish both, Lubellion. It's very nice to have, and I do love having this. That's it for the engine, non-engine time. Now we do some consistency non-engine. I mentioned earlier, Gold Sarcophagus. And we're playing 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. I think in 50 you have to play Allure. Above 45 cards, you'll play Allure of Darkness. It's just too good. 2 Mercuria isn't because we have Gold Suck. I don't care about that. We play 2 Mercuria because of Allure. It's the best ratio for Allure having. In regular branded, the best ratio is just that. 2 Merc and a Tragedy. We have an additional one with the Dark as well. That's the main one doing a banish off to get searches, really. Because this gets you basically everything. This gets you the Despias that you might not already have, and this gets you into the Thunderwrack and stuff. This is the most ideal one to banish, but you don't play any more because that's bricky. Furthermore, in terms of the board breakers, we have 3 Dark Ruler No More, 3 Book of Eclipse. That's in the minute. I'm using my phone light for this, so I do apologise. Sorry, move it around here. 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Eclipse, and 2 Talents. Talents actually also counts as a card that plays through Ash, like these guys, so I'll talk about them in a minute. But Dark Ruler is the best board breaker, hands down in this format. It shuts down the average Fiendsmith Snake-Eye board, so then you can just play. Against Fiendsmith Yubel, it's a bit more difficult, because they usually have Desiree, and you've got to bait that out somehow. But Book of Eclipse can typically do that for you. And we also play Eclipse instead of something like Droplet, or because you don't play Droplet because you have Dark Ruler. There's no point playing both. We don't play Super Poly because the extra X type. But also, simply put, if we have Aluba, where is Aluba? You go normal Aluba, effect, Chain Imperm, Chain Eclipse. And that way you dodge the Imperm. It's good for dodging hand traps. Talents is just nice to have because there's hand traps everywhere right now. And going second, if they have Appaloosa, you take that, you have Insulation to Ash Blossom. And then similarly, these play through Ash. I play no Thrust, because I can't afford that. We've got 2 Fusion 2. 50 is the ideal number. I used to play 3. I'm playing 2 now, because if you know the lines with the Zek, Ash Blossom doesn't matter. I'll be honest. I will do some test hands, maybe when I get the Sanctify Puppet, I'll do test hands, proving it. If you know what you're doing with the deck, you don't always need to see this. But it's very nice to have, and you don't play 3 in case you see 2 of it. We play these 5 because we have about a 40% chance to see 1 of them in our opening hands to play through Ash. It's hard to play through Ash. You could play 3 and that's 50%. Yeah, that's only like, you look at the numbers for it, things like a 6% difference, which I don't think you need, quite frankly. And I'd rather do it this way. And that's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. That was very... we have standard Albaz ratios, 2 Albion, a Lubellion, 2 Mirror Jade, a Rindrum, a Titaniclad, and an Albalinatus. Do not go into this format with that Albalinatus. It is the best card in 2 template. Because I've done this before. You remove Sangin summoning via, say, Borrowed Furious Dragon. Summon Albaz via Rindrum. Albaz effect fused with their entire board, because I only learnt this recently. I had to reread Albaz. When someone did it, I watched someone do it, and I went, well, no way that works. Albaz does not... I always thought Albaz read for 1 monster the opponent had, and 1 you had. Put it here. But let's all read Albaz together, shall we? If it's one special, you can discard a card, fusion monster from the extra deck using monsters on either field as a material, including this card. But you cannot use monsters you control as material. There is no limit. I always read it that it had a limit. It doesn't. It's as many as you want. So they have Chandra and they have Pydra, Albalinatus. They have Chandra, Pydra, Fadra, even better. Or Chandra, Pydra, Druiswan. you just get Lenatus and they don't win. Or if they do Chandra, Hydra, Battle Phase, Rin Brim effect, summon target Albaz. If you don't have a Bestial, you summon Albaz effect. They go Synchro, that's a Mirror Trade. If they don't Synchro, that's a Lenatus with the tuner. They usually don't get to play from that point. In terms of what I call the other necessary cards, we have a Grand Magnol, Proskenion, Masquerade. These are Despia. Oh, Masquerade, you are not being friendly today. And with the glare. And this should be a Quertis. I'll say this now. I actually have one coming. So the staple of the channel is going. And yeah, I want to play 2 Grand Magnol with Puppet. I don't currently have one coming. So we'll mention that and get to it. But I do think 2 Grand Magnol is needed in this deck. It helps so much. And even without Puppet, you can then send Ad Libitum on your opponent's turn for Branded and Red Blinds. Okay, we have Stapelia. Move it there because of glare. Because it's there. Oh no, never mind. Colossus. So this is actually needed for the Colossus line. I'll show you that in a minute. And Colossus. Right, why am I playing Colossus? Fun fact for everyone at home. If they don't have Imperm or they're still on Droplet or Talents, these Fiends with Snake Eye deck cannot beat Colossus plus Mirror Jade unless they have, or Colossus plus Quem, unless they also have D-Belstar. Because if they go normal Snake Eye Ash, and these two, let's say it's these two, real quick. And the other 2 extra cards, by the way, are Standard, Fury Strike, and Chimera. But let's say, this is just showing off some theory here, I figured it out. You have these guys, right? Normal Snake Eye Ash, no effect if they can't. Exceed, you then have to think. On summon, you got to go Mirror Jade effect, send, say, Lenatus, remove it. Let's say have an extender. If they don't get to play, they have to pass. They can't use the Fiendsmith stuff because, well, they can't search. But if it isn't Mirror Jade, let's say it's Quem. Well, you have Quem, you make sure you have an Albaz in the graveyard. That's what you would. That's the mandatory. The first thing you always do with Quem, in my opinion. If you have access to Artesia, you want to get an Albaz in grave at all times. And you have Albaz there, Quem there, normal Snake Eye Ash, no effect because they can't. Fine. Overlay Typhon. Quem effect, summon Albaz. Albaz effect, discard anything. And that, my friends, is Mirror. That's not Mirror Jade. Where's Mirror Jade gone? Mirror Jade. So yeah, it's very powerful. These two, and even to Yubel, it's very powerful because they play, I think 9 breakers right now. So they don't see any of their breakers. They don't get to play for the same reasons. Side, Suitor the Branded. This was a Bright Spacing Branded King. It's the only one that's designated for going first because it's Macro Cosmos. That's literally it. It's Macro Cosmos. You have a Bestial and they use the extra deck. That way, it's very powerful because they can't go Linkway Pop Path Spell Trap Zone itself because that's not something they can do. If it's branded, they lose the Cartesia and the material. If it's Tenpai, it's banished. And yeah, sure, they can play Shifter, it doesn't matter too much. But at the same time, they got to go different lines than what they wanted to. Okay, now this one I don't actually own. They're coming in the mail still. But it should be 3 Dogwood. Because you have to this format. You physically have to. Not just to win in time, but for Tenpai. Because if you have this plus an actual board, they have to go through so many resources to kill you, it won't be worth it, and you get to live for another turn. I went into Fiendsmith Magical Musketeer, and they gave me like 20k life points. They only dealt me down to, I think, 9,100 with Axis going on board as well. Pass. I got to play again. I match into Fiendsmith Snake. It basically gives you the resources, so you can just go pass. You know that they can't kill you, and you have so much life points that you can go 7 card hand. Now we can play. It's needed. The other option you can have, which I'm currently using, is Nibiru to weaken boards. But again, you just want to make sure that they don't get to Lacrima, Fiendsmith, which most decks are. Other hand traps are playing. You do play in Brandis. Usually you play. You don't often play hand traps, but this format you do have to play a bunch of hand traps because you need to stop Fiendsmith, quite frankly. If it comes to game 3, you need to stop them going Beatrix, send say Transaction Rollback, or send Angel Bootes, or you need to stop them going Fiendsmith Lacrima, and that's why we've got these guys here. Imperm's generically good. I'm tempted to main this honestly, because it's just so good, and if you hit the engine, it might stop them, and Bestials are the best hand traps right now. Imperm, it just ruins Snake Eye. Also, I get Fiendsmith. So yeah, got 2 here. I do play some breakers. The 3 breakers you should definitely be playing is evenly matched. Because other than specifically the Yubel deck, no one's on Omni Negates. So you can just evenly them and that's their board. But I'm also on this. I'm not sure this is right. I think these should be, if you have them, Mulcharmy or Phantasme. I'll be getting 1 Phantasme, but no more, so I might just cut that for a Phantasme because it's that good. You then want to draw into your non-engine. You know, say they make IP. Phantasme, draw 2. Hopefully we see Spooky Dogwood, we see Impermanence, we see Magnamut. If they don't, I'm not getting Impermanence even. You see, or the other board breakers we have. We don't want to use Phantasme and we get nothing. You know, Mulcharmy, that's at least 2 draws. Hopefully one of them will get you somewhere. You don't want to have too many breakers in your side this format, which is what I've figured out. Oh, but what do you do starting first? Depends on the matchup. You can usually put Imperms in going first, quite frankly, because they're just generically good. You can put in Bestials. Hell, I've put Dogwood in going first. And of course you have Etude. But yeah, I don't think these are correct, this format. That's just me. But I don't have anything better right now. But there are an option depending on your locals, of course. And I did promise this. Allow me to show you... I'll show you 3 lines to get to. Of course, one of them is just Gold Sarcophagus. But the others will be Brand Infusion without shifter, Brand Infusion if you get shifted. So let me just set that up real quick. Back. For you guys will just not see any change. I'll see. Be a couple of minutes for me. Alright. We are back. Oh, sorry about that. And this is the lines. So there's the extra deck. This is the lines with just a Gold Sark. You Gold Sark. You banish. That is not the right card. That's not it either. There it is. Dark effect, you add Hawk. If they troll you, whatever. You go Hawk effect, summon Dark, tribute Dark. That is, it's the top card, what am I doing? Colossus. Done. That's the very basic line. Okay, but what if it's with Brand Infusion? So we need here Brand Infusion and a discard. You'll see why in a minute. Let me just reorganize these. You go Brand Infusion effect. You send to grave Albaz, and you send to grave Dark. This is without shifter. You then go out and make Lubellion. Lubellion effect, discard anything. Shuffle itself back, and Albaz back. Now that's weird. That doesn't banish anything. How are we going to get Dark to search? That's because we summon Albion. Albion effect, banish itself, banish Dark, make Stapelia. Dark can now trigger, you add yourself a Hawk, tribute Hawk, discard Hawk, summon Dark, tribute Dark, Colossus. But Zelda, what if the opponent, shocking here, drop shifter because Tenpai is around, Ritual Beast is around, Threat not, same situation. I really put Albaz on bottom of deck, I did. But this time it's even easier. Shift, draw Samurai main, draw face, shifter, fine. Brand Infusion, yeah, sure. We banish Albaz, we banish Dart. Make Lubellion. Lubellion 1, Dark 2. Add Hawk, put itself back, put Albaz back. Make Stapelia. Hawk effect. Discard itself. It doesn't say discard to the graveyard, just discard it. Summon Dark, tribute Dark. Bada bop boom pow. Stapelia, and that's Colossus. Those are the 3 basic lines. Again, thank you all for watching. Do the YouTube thing, like, comment, subscribe. And until next week, cheerio. I think I'll be doing a full power Brian video. Unless the ban this drops.